How's everyone doing today? This is Chopping It Up Hardcore with Hal Capone Special Edition. Today, my special guests are Nuvolascura, the amazing emo violence band from Los Angeles. They're on a little East Coast swing right now, doing a little tour up and down the East Coast, kind of towards my area. I'm going to see them Wednesday in Salem, Mass, and I'm going to try to see them in Providence the next day. So anybody that's, around, go catch them because they're unbelievable live, and, everything on top of that is the new album's coming out in July. So super pumped for that. And we'll talk about that also. And hope everybody's good. So they should be jumping on in a couple seconds. I just wanted to introduce what was going on with them, and all four of them will be joining us today, which is, I think, like a first for me to have a whole band chatting, but I haven't done one of these in a while, so. All right, I'm going to grab you guys. So.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, we're gonna have to arrange ourselves.
That's all right. I kind of have to do the same thing.
Okay, there we go. That's all
Perfect.
four of
Perfect.
us.
I'll do half face.
Half face. I'm gonna
Awesome.
need glasses.
Well, I just want to thank you guys so much for, reaching out and wanting to do this. I know I talked to Erica years ago about doing it kind of haphazardly in Alston when you played there, but it's a privilege, and thank you so much.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. Thank you for for having us.
Finally, we have a reason to.
Yeah.
So the new album is coming out in July. The title isn't literal, right? Or are you guys trying to say something there?
That's totally what I was thinking, because Dom named it, and Dom told me the name, and I was like, is this Dom's way of telling me that it's over? But he's like, no, I already have the title for the next record. So, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's
Never
good. Yeah,
officially
because
discussed.
I read the title and I was like, oh no, like.
That's kind of what I wanted, though. Yeah, I just thought like that would be a cool idea, and I just thought it was cool.
You're the first person to actually say that. I was worried that when we announced it, we'd get quite a few people be like, "Oh, what?" Yeah. But no, we're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, though. That's great news. I wanted to ask how the band kind of started. I know, Vril was kind of like the starting point. Can you just talk about how that band turned into the band you're doing today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tay and I actually went to high school together. So we after I went to college for a little bit, and then I came back to LA. I was just like trying to jam with people, and I think like the first person I jammed with was Tay and like an old friend we had. And just from there we just started to write music, and it's we that turned into Vril, and then that eventually just evolved into Nuvo, and we've been playing with this lineup, I guess, since 2016. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Does it feel like it's been almost 10 years?
No, because of COVID, it felt like two years subtracted. I feel like so it feels like 4 years. I don't even know. That's how it feels like to me, at least. Like, yeah.
It kind of feels like 10 years.
It feels like 100 years. Feels like 100 years. Sometimes feels like 5 minutes. Sometimes.
So what was the purpose of like changing the name to Nuvo? Like, was it just like a fresh start that you wanted to kind of?
Yeah, like honestly, it's just at this point when Erica joined and then Dan joined, it really just felt like a new band, and we felt like we needed to change the name because it was, it truly felt like a new project.
Nice. I know you played a show in Richmond last night. How did that show go?
It was really good.
Incredible. Yeah, Richmond.
Our best Richmond show for sure.
Yeah, Richmond kids are very awesome. We played with Hinoki and Skipper. Really cool. Really great to be able to play with them. They actually featured on one of our songs that's coming out that hasn't been released yet. So we were excited to play with them for that reason too. And then, of course, Gift from God, Richmond Legends. And it was great to, I guess it was their first show back in a while. I didn't even realize that. So it was great to be able to witness that.
That's awesome. And DC is tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Ostraka and some other bands. I don't know off the top of my head.
It was Sutras, and then I forget the rest. Birth Defect.
Yeah, Birth Defect.
We should have looked.
So when these tours like kind of come into fruition, and you see the band you're playing with, I mean, do you get psyched for some of the lineups that are coming up soon, or even like in general, like other tours too? Because I know when I saw y'all years back, it was Sanaji and Hawak that were playing with you, and like, do you get excited for some of the bills that you see for maybe some of the bands that you never played with before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. I mean, this like touring like post COVID, it feels like so many new bands. Like, I don't know, before COVID, like we were playing shows and it felt like it was with the same bands over and over again kind of, and like so many new bands have just popped up. There's like a new generation of people starting bands, and like, you know, like I feel like before COVID we were playing with a lot more like hardcore bands or bands that didn't really like sound like us. I mean, we love mixed bills, but like, you know, it's nice to see that there's other people making similar music to us. So yeah, it's always great to meet new people, see new bands.
We played with Kiowa in LA recently, and they were really sick. We're playing with our friends in New Forms, so that's gonna be cool.
That's on the DL, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
that's on the DL. That's the secret set.
If you're tuned in, you the secret's been revealed, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Yeah.
Our friends in Burial Dance were supposed to play a show with us, but they dropped. They're really good.
Yeah, Burial Dance is great.
Yeah.
They're really. I've yet to see them. They played up in Massachusetts a couple months ago, but there was another show going on that I went to, so I missed them. So hopefully they'll be back around again because they're sick.
Yeah, and we're playing with Doom Beach, and we played with them last year, and they're just like the nicest guys.
Yeah, excited to see them again. We got to play with them
like a
few times. Yeah, maybe twice. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. It was one of the times was the Be Normal Fest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
which was an amazing lineup. That fest was great.
Yeah.
When you said explosion of bands like after COVID, what do you really attribute that to? Do you think it was because people were locked down and they couldn't go anywhere, and maybe like I always think like TikTok had a big part in that for kids that were seeing like shows and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's definitely TikTok and like Gen Z finding Screamo on TikTok. I really think that.
They're logged in.
And a lot of people, I think being like locked in for COVID and like just listening on Spotify, because we will have like last year we had someone come to the show and they're like, I found you last week on Spotify. I think we were getting like added to a bunch of playlists, so like just a bunch of people were finding it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great to like see a new generation at shows. Like, I mean, like I said on the earlier question, like we were like playing to the same people kind of in LA.
Left Astray.
Yeah.
Left Astray.
Yeah. So like it's like so great to just like be playing to people that are excited about Screamo.
We played.
Yeah.
We played in like Bakersfield last year, and we realized the last time we had been to Bakersfield was 6 years before that.
Wow.
And so like the people who were 12 at that are now like 18 and now at the show, and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I really think it's been an explosion the past, like, literally like 6 or 7 years for new bands, like you said. And the scene itself has just, like, the youth has made it that much more fun. I mean, me being like, I'm old, and I've gone through many decades of hardcore and screamo and stuff like that. And I think it's refreshing now that I'm still going to shows in my 50s, and seeing kids like enjoy themselves dancing, just getting into the music, like so many young people and diverse crowd, and like I love it now, because back in the day, with the classic screamo bands, there was a lot of like, dudes standing like this and like not even bobbing their head or anything like that. And I witnessed that and I videotaped a lot of it, which was crazy to me because I see these bands like they're legends now, and then I see shows that I went to when literally nobody was even moving. You know what I mean? So I feel like today's new scene is just vibrant and like super exciting for me. It's I'm glad I'm living through it now.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
Yeah, the dancing is definitely interesting. Because I feel like when I start started listening to hardcore before screamo, and so I feel like um screamo shows to me were kind of like going against the hardcore crowd movement, and it was kind of like we need to respect each other and like not hurt anyone, and like
Yeah.
so we're just gonna stand here.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of nice, but also, I don't know, kind of weird. But yeah, I think I don't know, like screamo adjacent. I don't know, like.
Well, like if I can add to that, like it's just fun. Like it's like I feel like I've seen it go through a cycle where like when I first started going to shows, like a lot of like there were a handful of screamo bands, but in LA where most of us, or I guess all of us are from. I forget that you're from LA sometimes. But like because they were playing with like hardcore bands, like moving around was like pretty common. Like I saw like one band that like has a through line through all of us is the band Calculator, and like I'd see them with like power violence bands or whatever, and like there would be a lot of movement like during Calculator set because people were moving around all through the show.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like very shortly after I started going to shows, like Erica said, like it was kind of like this movement of like, let's respect each other's space. Like, why are we gonna hurt each other? Like, let's actually respect or let's not hurt each other, because then that puts the venues at risk, or something like that. And there was like a little bit of more just like standing still, arms crossed, like just maybe not necessarily like going through the motions, but just like vibing, I guess. And then now, like post COVID, I mean, like maybe this is attributed to TikTok as well, of like people like taking videos and like seeing like other people like going crazy and at shows, or like moving around dancing, and like we saw some spin kicks last night,
And it's like there is no distinction now.
Yeah. And like it's great that like kids are excited. It's just like funny to watch it like go full circle again.
It's all cyclical.
Yeah.
And I still just don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like last night, there was a lot of moving around for all of the bands, and like I saw people being respectful. It's like the crowd killing and stuff that like kind of is a little tough for me to digest, and like I'm starting to see that happen a little bit more. Not necessarily at our shows, but just like when I see videos of other bands and like sentiments of like crowd killing is cool and stuff like that. Yeah. We played this show in Henderson near Las Vegas, where we saw some pretty deliberate crowd killing, and
I think Tay is still traumatized.
Yeah.
Into my brain.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
But you know, as long as everyone's being respectful. I mean, last night like everyone was having a great time, you know. So as long as everyone's like being chill and like, you know, if we see it happening, we'll say something. Like I like to like if there's someone up front or like someone that like doesn't want to be dancing but wants a better view, like, you know, I'll tell them like, oh, you can hang out behind me or like behind the amps or whatever it is, and you know, but sometimes those are the people going the hardest.
Yeah. I mean, I really think it's about reading the room too with like people that dance. It's like obviously if you know somebody's not enjoying you hitting them, it like you kind of have to read the room and like dancing meaning like just moving around, not so much as spin kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that, in my you know my feelings on it is, I mean, I came from super metalcore, like seeing Botch and Dillinger Escape Plan and stuff like that back in the late '90s, and it was like rough, but back then it was like there wasn't crowd killing, and like if you wanted to get hit, you'd go inside the pit, and then that's where it happened. Nothing happened on the outskirts or like, you know, jumping on people in the front or I mean, obviously there was stage diving, but not deliberately trying to like kick somebody in the head or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about reading the room. I mean, I just like people dancing in general, like not moshing, but just like moving around. And like, I know back in the day there was like power violence and people would just shake. You know what I mean? They'd be like this when they see a band. Like I like seeing stuff like that. I like seeing weird stuff
A
like
thing
that.
in Richmond right now is like the fingers or whatever. If you feel like you're at like a what is it, evangelical
That's sick. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's the scene like in LA right now? What do you think? And like some of the bands that people should be looking out for in LA.
Oh, I guess you don't live in LA anymore. Yeah. I mean, there's like everywhere. There's a lot of bands that started up like over COVID or like just before COVID, and it like I was saying, it felt like we were playing with the same like 3 or 4 bands in LA, playing like, you know, like we used to help out at a venue called Bridgetown DIY, and like it was like playing a Bridgetown show like 1 month and then playing a program show the next month, and then just like the cycle like alternating, and like it would be the same homies, you know. And yeah, so like the scene right now in LA, I mean, like I think it reflects just about anywhere else. I feel like it reflects Richmond. Richmond here.
Oh.
Like we were just saying,
okay.
like there's a lot of like newer bands that have just like started over the last like couple of years.
We played with Trains are really awesome and nice, but I think they're over.
Not playing, yeah.
But they have like branched out into other bands. And like Kiowa, Lagrimas actually, their drummer.
We've done them for a long time.
Yeah, so it's like bands that we played with like, you know, a decade ago have like changed into new bands, and now they're like huge, like Lagrimas and Othiel, Lumire's,
Quiet Fear.
Yeah.
Quiet Fear.
Like
Kiowa.
Yeah. Claybirds in Orange County, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of like just newer bands, and it's like it's great. We don't all live in LA anymore, so like when we play LA shows, like it's like, you know, pretty special occasion, and it's great to be able to like be playing with these newer bands and see all this newer generation of kids like coming out and excited to see us, excited to just hang out. So yeah.
Nice. Are you going to see Spirit of Versailles at the fest out there in California?
I haven't gotten tickets for that, but yeah, that fest looks crazy. It's your Renaissance Fest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have not gotten tickets myself.
It's kind of stinks that Kite Flying Society had to.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't realize that they were playing. Or
they were playing and then they canceled because their singer lives in Germany and there was like a family thing that he couldn't commit to now, so they had to cancel on the fest.
Well, yeah, it looks like a great lineup.
And nobody's going as of right now.
Well, I live in Richmond,
Yeah,
so I can't go. That's my excuse.
No
But
one's going as of right now. No.
you live in Richmond, but you can go see Darkest Days this year, which is that lineup is crazy. Reversal like just got announced going to that. So
yeah.
Who's playing that? You said Reversal of Man?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Iron Ostraka.
Iron Legacy.
That's it. Ostraka, sorry.
Yeah. the lineup is crazy. I wanted to speak about the new album. I know it comes out July. Is there a set date for that to come out? And what's it coming out on? And I mean, like vinyl, CDs. Like what are y'all doing for the release?
The set date is July 28th. And we're doing vinyl and CDs. Or we're doing vinyl with Segama in North America, and then vinyl in Europe with I Corrupt, and CDs with Segama, and then we're we're planning an Asia tour for November, and so we're doing some CDs in Japan and then some tapes in Southeast Asia, with Uterid Tapes. So, and I think Uterid Tapes is someone in Puri-Reis, and I think they're gonna bring some tapes to New Friends Fest for us. So
nice.
I mean, this is all like very preliminary.
Yeah.
Who knows if it'll happen? But,
who knows if the record will come out. Honestly.
What are your thoughts on the new album? I think like obviously, is there a progression that's something you're working towards, or is it just like whatever comes natural to you? That's what you work on new songs with. Like how do you feel about the new album?
Yeah, I think it is a natural progression, but also like sonically, we really wanted to record all digitally, so it was kind of going for more of like a more clear, I guess more precise sound. And that's way different from the first two records. So musically, yeah, I think it is a pretty natural progression, but sonically, we did want to make some changes, just like with how we recorded.
Yeah, and did Jack Shirley have a hand in this too as well?
He mastered it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We recorded, we tracked all instruments and did all mixing with Alex Jacobelli of Sun 6 Studio in San Diego. We were, took us a few trips.
Just a few.
Nine.
It was like, yeah. It was recorded over the course of. We did our first tracking in November of 2023, and then
Probably.
It
was like about a year. Yeah. Every month I'd go down there and just try to get some more stuff done.
Yeah. Like Dom. I mean, you can speak more on it yourself if you want, but like Dom fucked around with a lot of guitar setups. Dom and Alex really got things dialed in. Taylor was done with the drums in like 2 days.
Oh, yeah, it was like 4 days.
Like, okay. I guess I only saw 2 days.
No, yeah.
It was 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 4 days, yeah.
With it, most.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's a big part of it.
We recorded the first two records so quickly. Like the first one and the second one, it was like 2 days each. Barely, yeah. So with this one, we really wanted to take our time and just like do more guitar layers and like test out like different types of tones and all of that stuff. So we really feel like we got to truly do that with this record.
Yeah, and like what was nice is so Jack is up in Oakland, which is more than a day trip to get up there. While Alex is only like an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes 3, depending on traffic, down in San Diego. So it was a lot more. It was a lot easier to like scoot on down there do some tracking for whoever's turn it was. And then we really got to take our time with it. He mixed everything. I don't know the vocal engineer off the top of my head.
Jonathan Castello at Sand Studios. I did vocals there in Richmond.
Yeah. There was a little bit of vocals recorded by Rolly in Santa Ana of Bright Light Studio. Shout outs to him. I went down and recorded like a very small vocal part the day that Alex started mixing the record. So really squeezed that one in at the last minute. But
and Rolly did our drill 7-inch.
The No Tradition 7-inch. Throwback.
So is it pretty seamless, even though Erica lives in Richmond and y'all are in California? I mean, is it a seamless like process now, like before when she wasn't living in Richmond?
I would say so. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to like write for this one, just because we did most of it on Logic, and it's honestly like in a lot of ways it was easier, and faster to write.
Although it did take 5 years.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a lot of that was COVID, but
writing, recording, and jamming all the time. We needed something new, like just a new way to approach writing an album and recording it. And I think it comes out, honestly. I really think the time is all worth it. And
we did way more pre-production for this one.
Yeah, pre-production. Yeah. The other thing too, like I saw someone someone writing about the new song that we released say that it took us 5 years to write the whole thing. I mean, most of that was COVID, one. But two, like, our last record came out in June of 2020. Yeah. So we didn't really get a chance to tour on it. And so when the time came, like when shows started happening again, like it was kind of the focus, like we should try and play these songs. Like we should try and tour and play these songs. So like we were lucky enough to do like a 2-week East Coast tour in 2022 where we were playing most of the LP2 songs. We got to go to Europe with those songs, played mostly those songs. We played a couple of new songs out there, or songs that are coming out on this record. COVID really threw a wrench in a lot of our plans. I think if COVID hadn't happened, like we were supposed to go on a Europe tour like May of 2020. We probably would have came back and like hit the ground running like with the new record, because we had like there were already some ideas like being worked on for this record by the time COVID hit. So
So 2022 was when you toured with Sonaji and Hawak. Was that that year?
It was like when we played New Friends Fest.
It was the New Friends Fest. It was the first time we played New Friends Fest, and like what's fun and sometimes a little tricky about playing a festival is like everyone, like some bands just fly out and do the one-off, some bands need to tour around it, and so like when there's a bunch of other bands touring around things, you kind of just end up on the same round. So yeah, like we didn't necessarily plan that tour with Sonagi and Hawak. It just kind of happened that way.
Yeah.
And love all those homies. It was a lot of fun getting to see them play.
We also had to cut it short.
Yeah, I did get COVID, most likely at New Friends Fest. But
it was a Boston show.
Yeah. Damn.
Just for the record.
Yeah. It was a big bummer. We missed Philly and New York on that tour because I had to quarantine. But that was a really fun show, or really fun tour. We like it was that like thinking back to that tour, like the mentality of like opening your phone in the morning and seeing like, oh no, like so and so has COVID and they're dropping. Like we were supposed to play with them, or we just played with them, and then we'd go to the CVS and get the fucking PCR test.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. We were testing so much, and like, yeah, it clipped us. We got clipped a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Wait, who got COVID? So I obviously got COVID first, but who else got COVID?
I got COVID.
Oh, really?
All of us were dumb.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That Boston show, Sonagi, canceled because of COVID, and it was and you guys played that show, so that's why I was like worried that what the show wasn't going to happen at all.
What that was
he tested negative right before it.
That was the O'Brien show, right?
Yeah, O'Brien show with uniforms and
that night I remember. So then the next night must have been Providence.
Mm-hmm, it was, yeah.
The Boston show, I remember talking to someone at the merch table and like feeling a little something in my throat, and I was like, "Uh-oh!" Like I don't like how that feels. And like I kind of just like took it easy the rest of the night, and then at the Providence show, I was just like, "Oh no, I'm feeling feverish. I'm feeling a little fucked up," and then I woke up. The next morning, I was just like, I think I have COVID, and tested, and like. It's funny, like I mean, there's so much like various levels of like trauma associated with like, oh shit, I need to like take the test. Like my dad got sick, so like, and I just saw him or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I remember like so many times like you take the test and you're watching it like turn whatever it is. And you're like, oh no, is it a little line or whatever? Or like, is the line up? And then that time it was like immediately you're fucking sick. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, we were talking about CDs and vinyl and stuff like that. Do you think CDs are coming back? Because now I see bands doing CDs all the time now, and I see these like real nice layouts that are sick that some of these like DIY labels are doing right now. Do you think that's on the comeback right now?
100%.
Yeah, because I think like Zoomers are inheriting like their parents' old cars that have CD players.
It's so funny because like I had a car with a cassette player.
Yeah.
And like I loved cassettes growing up, and like now it's the CD. Like everything just happens in a circle.
Yeah. Awesome. You were saying because of COVID, writing kind of slowed down and stuff like that, and obviously, 2020 was like the last release. In between that, though, the discography CD came out. Was that only because like nothing had come out for years, and you decided like let's put something, like.
So
I want to talk about.
You clocked it.
I did not.
It's not.
It was a mistake.
It's not a discography.
We need that one scrubbed.
Yeah. We're not. No comment.
It's not a discography. It's a reimagining of. So it's not like our full discography. It's just like we just took songs and put them in a new order. Like took our favorite songs and put them in order. But it was because we had nothing.
We had nothing.
They twisted our arm to get that out.
Yeah. We had cassettes basically only, and at that same Henderson show, I reference this to Erica all the time. Also, have to really quickly shout out my wife Jill watching. So we were at this Henderson or this Las Vegas show, and like these two younger kids like with their dad like came up to the merch table, and they were like excited to see us. They were excited to like buy some merch, and like we had cassettes on the table and like obviously like shirts and whatnot, and they picked up the cassette and they were just like,
they didn't know how to open it.
Like
it was like watching a monkey like, trying to get in.
And like immediately I turned to Erica and I was like, we will never do cassettes again.
No, well, because
I'm just kidding on that.
I think they bought
Honestly, I don't even know how to open cassettes.
I think they bought it because it was probably our cheapest piece of merch, and it was just like a token that they could look at and put on their our shelf. Maybe they could buy a cassette player at some point, but yeah, I mean, they were probably like 12 or 13. Yeah, so, but I think also, like, yeah, the fact that CDs and tapes are a lot cheaper than vinyl is probably appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think it's faster, like, to get back, you know what I mean, than waiting on the vinyl companies to you know, do the vinyl. I also wanted to get into, is anybody doing anything band-wise outside of Nuvo? I know Ghost Spirit is in there, but is anybody else doing like things?
I'm in a newer band called Juna with some friends of mine that used to play. My friend Andy, who played guitar in a band called La Bea that we used to play with all the time. I, have been seeing them since high school. I've been friends with them for a very long time. And then Corey, playing drums, who used to play in the band Left Astray and various other ones. That's all I've got going on.
I have like a shoegaze band in LA with some friends called Revenge Star.
Yeah.
It's super chill.
Nice. Now, is this like on Bandcamp, or can people listen to this? Just like people that are curious about it?
Actually, we're gonna record our first album within like the next few months, so it should be out, I would say, by the end of summer. But Jack from Claybirds is actually gonna record it, so
Nice.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
My band, we've only been playing together for like 6 months, maybe less. So we have a good amount of songs written. I've kind of unfortunately been focused on Nuvo, so I'm gonna do some vocals for that, and I haven't quite finished writing for it. So now that the Nuvo record's done, I can kind of add this tour. After this tour, I'll get a chance to sit down and finish those, and then hopefully we'll be recording sometime soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
So after this tour, you said a November tour. Is that mostly going to be like the West Coast, or is that going to be overseas, or like?
November is Asia, but we're playing in Berkeley July 30th, and then New Friends Fest in August. That's like what we have next after this tour. Yeah, and then I think we're doing a record release in LA at some point, maybe late August or September.
Yeah, still trying to work out the details of that, but yeah, hoping to have some sort of record release at home, or at what is the band's home. But yeah.
I'll definitely be at the Wednesday show in Salem, Mass.
Cool.
And I'm actually going to try to make Providence the next day too, which is, I mean, it's I think it's like 2-hour ride from where I live, but whatever. I'm a trooper at this, so I think I'm going to make both shows.
We'd love to see it. Yeah. Well, we're excited to see you in Salem, but yeah, we'd love to see you again too.
I haven't seen Told Not to Worry, and I've heard great things, and that release is really good too. And I'm friends with Doom Beach, so like I saw the lineup, and I was like, and Trophy Hunt on top of that too. So I was like, oh, it's like this lineup is crazy. So I think I'm doing both days. Yeah. So.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's exciting.
That'd be awesome. I know you guys have to go to DC, so I'm going to do a quick rapid fire like I usually do, but this time I'm doing like different questions than I normally do. Okay. So we'll try to keep it as short as possible because I know you guys have to go. So my first question is, what new emo, violent, screamo bands would you recommend listening to or seeing live?
New Forms is pretty good.
Yeah, very excited to not see them at our Salem show. Yeah. But yeah, no, they're the homies for sure.
I think we all really like Blind Girls.
Yeah, we got to hang out with them this past July. Seen them quite a few times. Very, very sick.
Ostraka, obviously.
Obviously.
I mean, Kyle was was very sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kai was super sick.
Yeah, Claybird's
Claybird's sick.
Claybird's sick. Othniel,
yeah.
all of them. All
There's a lot. Yeah, it's hard to like.
It's hard
Yeah.
to say, yeah.
The two bands we played with last night, other than GIF, the like newer bands, Skipper and Hinoki, like Skipper's breaking up, but they're all gonna do new stuff, and they're like really talented. Like all these kids are like very talented. So yeah.
Nice. I heard Claybirds is coming to the East Coast in like a month and a half or 2 months or something like that. At the end of like summer, at some point, I heard they were coming towards my neck of the woods. So I'm excited about that for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, my second question: what old school classic screamo band is your favorite?
That's a good question. For me, like the one for whatever reason, the only one that's coming to mind is Circle Takes the Square. I loved that band when I was in high school. Like just discovering like screamo stuff. I'll have to think about that for a second. Anyone else?
I'm gonna say Moldar for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, honestly, they were huge when I was in high school. Like
Yeah.
I was so into them.
If we're talking about just like generally,
It's classic for me.
So,
So,
yeah. I Moldar, shout out San Gabriel Valley. Definitely like they were the first like screamo band that I heard that was like in my area. I unfortunately never got a chance to see them, but Mark went on and started quite a few bands. Same with Andrew. I would say 10,000 Leagues.
10K, yeah.
Has had a huge influence on this band in particular. I can speak for everyone, but like also on me and like how I enjoy this style of music. 10,000 Leagues definitely. Like I never hear anyone talking about them anymore. I feel like, and they deserve all the recognition they can get.
Well, creative.
Oh yeah, I guess that's classic.
Yeah.
Influences.
Yeah.
This fucking band. Not that they're super old, but
it's pretty much why we started doing it. Like,
yeah, hits on that shit, and we wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
But
I guess are they considered? I don't know. I feel like the classics are like older than that, but if we're going Loma, I'd say I don't even know if Comadre is like Comadre is like I feel like there were like even Loma like would always play with hardcore bands and like so the lines were really blurred. Comadre like could have been a hardcore band. It could maybe be a screamo band. I don't know.
Yeah,
they're very good.
Do you like early Loma or new Loma? Like what's it's all good, but I'm saying like what's your preference? The earlier stuff obviously is a lot more chaotic and wild, and now it's a lot more melodic and like so.
I'm talking Last City to Rain Split. It's the golden era. Everything in there is just so inspirational to us. And
that generation. I mean, because what years are that? Like that's like
that would be like 08 to 2013.
Yeah, like that era, like that 5-year span was like that was when I was like just graduating middle school, going into high school, and like getting into music and DIY music, like Comadre, like going full speed, Loma, like going full speed, Touche going full speed, like all these like big like that generation of bands are like what I would say are the bands that like I grew up with. Obviously there's like the classic bands, Rain and
Orchid.
Like that generation of bands, but like it's I'll speak for myself. I was very lucky to grow up with that particular generation as they were during their most active periods and during their most prolific periods.
Hell yeah.
Nice. All right, I'll keep going. Number 3, what band that y'all played with live was your favorite and why?
Oh, that's so
Well,
hard.
Ostraka was my favorite.
Oh my god.
We own it.
Yeah. No, shout out to Ostraka. Yeah.
I mean,
we'll throw him a bone.
I mean, John is just like no shade to Taylor, but John. Yeah,
I'll take full shit.
John,
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
John's a goddamn monster.
yeah, he's a monster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It like I don't know. They have a way of like making people cry. I don't know. It's just like very emotional, and I don't think I like have had that like visceral of a reaction with many ones. Set I saw. We didn't play with them, but I saw them. They were awesome.
Nice. Yeah, Strachey definitely. Honestly, every time I've seen GIF, I'm like, damn, this band is fucking good.
Well, it's because it's John.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brian.
Yeah.
Mine is Lord Snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think I was gonna say Lord
Yeah.
Snow. Yeah.
Definitely Lord Snow.
Legendary.
I think for me, it's either got to be Lord Snow or Loma.
And you
Like,
guys loved Adobe Homes. Too.
oh yeah, Adobe Home straight up. I think it's one of the most underrated screamo bands. Like they're just incredible. Yeah.
That's crazy. Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely you don't hear that name too often.
That's a trifecta. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sick. My next question: who would you like to play with band-wise that you haven't yet?
Oh.
Bo Navier.
Oh yeah, bonus for sure.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
that I'll just put that one on the table. We'll talk about it maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah. I write haikus.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Yeah.
If Suffix ever got back to you.
Yeah, Suffix. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
That's like Suffix is like always my North Star for vocals.
That's sick.
Yeah.
There's this really good band called Mouthing too that I'd love to play with.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize. I thought we'd played with them. Maybe
I think
not.
so.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I think that about answers that.
Yeah.
Nice. I got two more real quick. My next one, what are your thoughts on New England as a whole for like what your thoughts on it is like, the East Coast, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, like what are your thoughts on that since we're coast to coast and it's probably kind of different on this side, or do you think it's the same? Like what are your thoughts on New England?
Well, we haven't been to Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. I don't think we
haven't played Connecticut. We've driven through it quite a bit.
So I think we've only done like Massachusetts,
Rhode Island and Massachusetts.
Rhode Island. Does New Jersey and New York count?
No.
Okay. Let's see, Massachusetts.
I mean, touring the East Coast, like drive time wise, it's just.
Let's go.
Like we're obviously having this chat with you, but we're about to hit the road up to DC and play a show there, and then Baltimore is the next city. That's like less than an hour from what I understand.
Yeah.
And like every East Coast tour that we do, like it's like, it's so cool to see people at what, like you're talking about, like coming to multiple shows, like having that ability is, or like that being a possibility is like really nice about the East Coast, whereas touring the West Coast, like there's definitely some drives, especially if you go up to Pacific Northwest. Like there's just like a 8-hour stretch between the Bay Area and like Eugene, Oregon, or Portland, Oregon, that like you just can't really play shows, unfortunately. I know there's stuff happening in Chico, I know there's stuff happening in Davis, but we've just not gotten lucky enough to figure it out. But no, I mean everyone over here is so nice.
It's much more lush compared to California.
Yeah.
It's very lush. So it's really pretty, and springtime is like an amazing time to tour. as opposed to like July in Bakersfield.
Yeah. 112 degrees, like driving down the 5, like AC is hanging on for its life.
But y'all played it right though, doing it like now instead of the winter in New England is horrible. It's driving in like snow and ice and stuff like that. So you definitely timed it perfectly. You know, it's not too hot here, it's not too humid, and it's not freezing. So it's like probably the perfect time to come up this way.
Mm-hmm.
So my final question is, what is your favorite Nuvo song to play live?
For me, it's any of the new ones. You know, it's the
Yeah.
most fresh and exciting for me. So, yeah, I would say that, and like any of the new songs.
Yeah, it's been we played one. Well, we've been playing 2 new songs for quite a while now. But we just incorporated one other new one into our set for this tour. And that was exciting to share that live for the first time. Yeah, I mean, playing the new songs is probably the most exciting for me.
I've always liked playing a Pirate Seed, and then the new ones, of course, it's always exciting.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me.
Piracy's a fun one, yeah, for sure.
I guess I really like Flower Offering just because it's like very personal, and essentially Vivisection also very personal. So yeah, but the new ones are really fun too.
Yeah. And who kind of comes up with the set list for this tour? Was it all y'all, or was it kind of just like already known, like pretty much what you?
It's kind of Dom.
It's typical.
Dom comes up with like a foundation, and then it can be like tweaked a little bit. Suggestions. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't want to. I know you got to get on the road and stuff like that, but I just want to thank you so much for doing this with me, having this chat. It means the world to me, and I'll definitely see you Wednesday, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be there Thursday as well. So I have tickets for both, unless I'm like tired or something and I can't do it, but I'm pretty sure I'll be.
Understandable.
You gotta take some electrolytes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even on that electrolytes.
This tour is going to be the electrolytes tour. Yeah. We've even mentioned a little yoga in the mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's TBD though.
Yeah. Remains to be seen. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you Wednesday, and I hope the tour goes great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye. Bye.